What up, Super Fun Fours? Time to talk about my weekly comic book pickups. Guys, these are the books that I recommend. I'll quickly talk about some of them if I've already had the chance to read them or, maybe give you guys some quick impressions. So let's start with Hulk #2, or more accurately, the Red Hulk. This is Invisible Woman variant. I think this is a super solid series. If you are a fan of Hulk, I actually recommend this over the Incredible Hulk series. The regular Green Hulk series, to me, is just way too out there. Barely recognizable from the Hulk's, main, I guess you could say canon, right? At this point, it's a loose term, right? Marvel doesn't really, to me, have canon anymore. But, from the origin of the Hulk, all the way up to the, I'll say the 90s and maybe even some of the early 2000s, I think the current Hulk is a far, far departure from that. If you like it, cool. For me, it's not something I really like. But this Hulk, this one is still reminiscent of the original Hulk that I think is probably the best Hulk right now, the Red Hulk that came out in 2008. That series by Jeff Loeb, of course, and Ed McGuinness is a fantastic series, highly underrated, highly underrated character, guys. I'll talk about that in another video. But in the meantime, pick this up. It's a great read, and it feels more like superhero, super villain, anti-hero, kind of in between superhero comic book read. So there's that. Now, speaking of Incredible Hulk, got this issue only because of the cover. That's all I'll say about that. All right, ASM, here we go, number 70. Kind of bought a few of these because it is the last of the volume of, I think, the worst Spider-Man volume in history. This volume was terrible all the way around, and I believe it's probably the biggest reason Peter Parker and Spider-Man's canon has been messed up, along with the MCU. But again, I won't go into that. But I will say that this, I think this volume introduced us to Paul, which was, Mary Jane's new husband, and just that whole ordeal. Just at that point, Spider-Man was done to me. But it's over. But it's still okay to enjoy it, as long as the current writers, like some of the issues that have more of a focus on just Spider-Man being a superhero and some of that, like, feel good and that charm from the 80s and the 90s. If some of the issues can capture that, cool. This last run here was written by, different writers. It was a far departure from what this whole volume has been, technically. And this is the April Fool's Day variant with Deadpool and the homage to the ASM, I believe, 232, where he swings back with the symbiote. So this is great if you're a fan of that issue. Then we have the Rivals cover. So this one, too, is great. I play Rivals. Spider-Man's a fun character in there. Penny's cool. And this is worth having in your collection if you want set aside something for the Rivals, which I do. I have a separate place. I keep all my books tied to Rivals. And I also got, there's actually 2 issues here, not in this pile. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot I put them in boxes. I don't want to dig them up right now. But I also got the Scotty Young variant, where it's the artist, sitting on the desk, and the cover's like primarily white, and there's like trashed pictures of Spider-Man. I got that one, and basically, that completes, most of the variants. All right, the Uncanny X-Men, here we go. I picked up this one, as you can see, $10. This is number, hint, I think this is 13, right? 12, number 12, and this is the one with Jitter. These covers are okay. I have most of them. I'm not really collecting all of them. When I have the opportunity to buy them, I get them. And this is the only one I have that has no logo, or that's logoless, so I just went with it. I was gonna pick up the regular one with the logo, but I mean, for $4 or $5, this one was actually also in better condition than the one I saw in my shop. Which was there's only one last one they pulled for me, so I just decided to go with this one instead. And this is the main cover here. It's about the Vig. I did read this book. Let me quickly talk about Uncanny X-Men. I think this run is okay. I know nothing will ever compare to Claremont. And again, this, like 70s, 80s, and 90s. I even really, really like Uncanny X-Men all the way up to the end of Onslaught, and the Executioner song and everything. That to me is the definitive X-Men. Anything after that is pretty bad. I know that might be a hot topic for some. I know there's people that like, I don't know, what is it, The Astonishing or something, or I don't know, New X-Men, whatever. But I read those, and those to me were quite easily dismissible. With this new generation, and also the House of X and all of that, Krakoa, I also read deeply into that, and I thought at first it was okay, but over time, more and more, especially as I went back to Claremont and understanding the origin of X-Men and stuff, I also felt like, that whole the fall of X, House of X, and all that um, wasn't that great. It was much better, I think, though, than all the previous stuff in between. But to me, it's like it's a whole different X-Men, and that's okay. So again, I'll still read it. Obviously, I'm here buying it. Just this book though, and then the regular X-Men title, which are both decent. And just to have an X-Men book to read, I'm very, very picky. Like I said, they have a lot. I tried X Factor for a few issues, dropped out real quick. X Force was bad from the get go. What is it? NYX was terrible. Exceptional X-Men terrible. And I'm not here to like be negative. I'm just trying to keep people reading what I would think, in my opinion, would be the quality comics, or the ones that have more respect to the history of Marvel Comics. So that's just it's more of a positive, like a passionate feeling about like these books and how they've been created, and over time how they've, I think, been far, far removed from their original, I guess, intention and stuff like that, and their origins. But anyways, so for this book, I think this book is okay. If you like Gambit, you'll like this, because it's about a story from his past catching up to him, which has to do with the VIG. What I will say though, I think the writing for this was a little sloppy, because the timeline doesn't make sense. He came out in issue 266 in the main Uncanny X-Men book. Before that, he appeared in an annual. Oh my goodness, why is that escaping me? His true first appearance is in an actual annual, or a cameo, so to speak. And I have that one. But when this came out in 266, when his character came out in the main Uncanny X-Men book, that was like, in the 80s, right? So here, a little bit of a spoiler, but nothing major. They show his childhood, and there's cell phones in his childhood. And to me, that doesn't work. You know what I mean? There were really no cell phones available to like the public, easily accessible. And they were, you saw the big cell phones that they had, that were shaped like, I don't know, what's like a giant box bar, like a huge, candy bar, I don't know, bar of soap. I don't know. It's really like a couple of VHS, like two VHSs. If you also know what VHS tapes are, it's like two of those like stuck together almost, or something. Anyways, it was showing in his childhood, which would have been the 80s technically, that they had like flip phones, and I'm like, that just kind of took me out of it right away. So you could really tell that this was totally made up after the fact, obviously. So that kind of, to me, lowered the quality of this. But either way, still it's okay. The art's decent. It's a different kind of an artist. It's not the artist who's been mostly drawing this book. They've jumped around a few times. I think 2 or 3 other issues maybe. But so it's not this cover artist either. It's not this artist. It's kind of like a more of a cartoony American style. Like when I mean cartoony, I mean like anyways, I can't really describe it. But check out the artwork in case you are expecting something else. Like I said, I think it's okay. It didn't really turn me off from the book, but it's obviously not the best. And then lastly, I just picked up the April Fool's Day because I want to slow down on variants. But this one was cool because it does have a wraparound. I'm not going to remove it, sadly, sorry, but the back cover actually has the X-Men on it, so it is a cool wraparound cover. Now on the DC, I picked up Absolute Wonder Woman number 6. I'm not sure how to feel about this book. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's okay, but just want to get a couple of it going here, just because it does have that RPG element, but it's a bit too dark and in the mythology. So not sure if I'll keep going with this book. I might drop it soon, but again, maybe pick up just some key issues or some interesting looking covers. Then the biggest book of the week is The Martian Manhunter, number 1. Everyone's raving about this book. I think it'll be fine. To me, it's a little bit, at this point, what people are liking about it is how it's so radically different. But for me, I miss I really feel like, as someone who didn't have a chance to really read a lot of Martian Manhunter, I just saw him in the cartoons, right? The Justice League cartoons. And, I would see him in comic books, but like I was too limited in my budget to buy only basically Marvel comics and, maybe Batman and stuff. So I never had a chance to read too much of Martian Manhunter. So this is going to obviously be, to me, an opportunity where they could have given him some more spotlight as this cool superhero guy. I do like his classic design, but I'll give this a try. I'm sure it'll be fun to read as more of like a noir or a detective mystery, which is what they're saying it is. Something like a pulp. So I guess for what it is, it should be fine. And then lastly, from the mainline universe, I picked up the Flash number 19. And that is the haul for this week, guys. All right, let me know what you guys picked up. What do you think of these books? What was your favorite of the week? For me, I do like the colors of this. It's probably going to be, honestly, between Flash and Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I think, was there one more book that I also put away by chance? No, okay. But yeah, so there you guys go. And then let me know in the comments what you guys think. Peace.